Ready to dive into something different today.
Always up for a challenge. What are we diving into?
Well, today we're strapping on our flat caps and heading into the murky streets of Birmingham with Peaky Blinders. But we're not just rewatching, we're going deep into the mind of one Thomas Shelby.
Tommy Shelby. Now, there's a character that stays with you. Ruthless gangster, family man, brilliant strategist. It's the contradictions that make him so fascinating.
Exactly. And to really understand him, we need to start with the thing that made him World War One.
Ah, yes. The trenches. They didn't do him any favors, did they?
Not a chance. He came back a changed man, closed off, calculating. It's like something inside him just snapped.
Understandable, given what he experienced. Tommy exhibits classic signs of trauma. The emotional detachment, that need for control, it's all connected to his time in the war.
You see it in everything he does, the way he runs his business, how he interacts with his family, even with Polly, who practically raised him. There's this distance, like he's always holding back.
He had to compartmentalize to survive the war. But those coping mechanisms, while necessary at the time, they became a double-edged sword. Helped him build an empire, but kept everyone at arm's length.
And that's just the beginning.
Oh, we're just scratching the surface. Wait till we dig into his strategic mind, his rise to power. Now that's where things get really interesting.
You know, Tommy's strategic mind always gets me. It's like he's playing chess, and everyone else is stuck with checkers.
Exactly. He thinks steps ahead, anticipates everyone's moves. And the best part, he understands the power of information, uses it to his advantage.
Like that time he took on the Sabini gang. Season 2, that whole Epsom Derby showdown. Talk about strategic brilliance.
Oh, absolutely. Instead of brute force, like a typical gangster, Tommy uses strategy, alliances, legal loopholes, even the element of surprise. He played Sabini perfectly.
Who uses a horse race as a chessboard. Unbelievable. And he was playing both sides, exploiting their weaknesses. It's classic Tommy.
And we can't forget his strategies aren't just self-serving. Remember, Tommy's loyalty lies with his family. Everything he does is to protect them, elevate them.
Yeah, that's true. Like when he buys that house for Polly and Ada. Ruthless in business, but there's that soft spot for family.
And that's what makes him so compelling, right? That moral complexity.
Yeah.
His love for family justifies some pretty ruthless actions.
It's like, are the ends justified by the means? Always a tough question. And it's even harder with Tommy Shelby, but that's a whole other conversation. So we've talked about Tommy's past, his strategic mind, but let's be honest, is he a bad guy? I mean, criminal empire, ruthless tactics, but he also clearly loves his family. It's a tough one.
That's the beauty of Tommy Shelby. He defies easy labels. Not a villain you can just dismiss, but he's no saint either. This constant battle between ambition, loyalty, his past, it's what makes him so interesting.
One minute he's outsmarting everyone like some kind of criminal mastermind. The next he's haunted by guilt, paranoia. It's almost, well, you almost feel bad for him sometimes.
It's that internal conflict that makes him fascinating. He wants peace, stability for himself, his family. But the paths he chooses, they lead to more chaos, more violence. It's self-destructive, fueled by trauma, this belief that power equals security.
Which it so doesn't. Look how much he achieves. Wealth, power. But is he ever content? Always another threat, another enemy. He can never escape it.
That's the tragedy of Tommy Shelby. Chasing an illusion, believing that controlling everything around him will bring him peace. But true peace. It can't come from dominance or violence. It has to come from within. Facing those demons he keeps running from.
It's a good lesson for all of us, even if we're not, running Birmingham's underworld. This whole idea of hustle culture, always striving for more. Tommy shows us there's a cost. Are we sacrificing our own well-being, our relationships, for power? Is it really worth it?
It's a question we should all ask ourselves. The allure of power, the potential to corrupt, to isolate. Tommy teaches us true strength isn't about control. It's self-awareness, vulnerability. The courage to face our own darkness.
Tommy Shelby, gangster, strategist, deeply flawed human being. His story is more than just entertainment. It's a look at ambition, morality, the human experience. And hopefully this deep dive has given you a new perspective on this iconic character, the questions he makes us ask. Until next time, thanks for diving in with us.